Hey everybody, my name is Ronnie George and I'm a real estate broker out of Louisiana, and I've been selling real estate for about 14 years now, and I'm going to be presenting this course to you called the 7 Steps to Six Figures, and it talks about exactly how you can make $100,000 a year selling real estate. Now, this is everything that I've done over the past 14 years that helped me build the exact business that I'm going to be teaching to you today in these 7 steps. So to dive right into who this is for, it could be anybody, really, anybody who's currently selling real estate, anybody who owns or manages a small team of agents or even wants to, or even anybody wanting to get into the industry, whether they're a small business owner or whether they just sell something in general, whether it's furniture, cars, whatever it is, they're interested in real estate. And for those that are working a 9-to-5 job and want a little bit more flexibility in their life, this is a great option for you because it's going to give you that blueprint so that way you can make $100,000 a year consistently selling real estate. Now, even if you've never sold a home, these 7 steps can work for you. It's going to help you generate a consistent flow of clients and give you that predictability month after month. And even if you have a great business right now and you want to scale it a little bit more, these 7 steps are going to help you do that and allow you to free up some time and automate your workflow. Now, another goal of this video is it's going to help you increase your sales so that you're at least closing at least 4 to 5 deals a month. And also it's going to eliminate those outdated and time-consuming techniques that are still taught by some brokerages today, like door knocking and cold calling, by moving you to targeted marketing and focused prospecting, allowing you to connect with a ton more people who are motivated and interested in your service without spending a ton of money or breaking the bank. Now, basically everything in this video is going to be exactly what you need to know so that you can make over $100,000 a year using predictable systems instead of all the guesswork and constant course correction. Now, this is everything that I've used to build my entire brand and brokerage over the past 14 years, all condensed in this video in these 7 easy to implement steps. Now, a couple rules for today's training. I just want to let you know this is not a get-rich-quick type thing. You cannot just click a button and make a ton of money, or we're not into tricking people and just trying to convince them that we're something that we're really not. You've actually got to be dedicated to improving the value of your clients' lives. And if you're not interested in something like that, then I probably can't help you because I really only want to help those that actually want to help their clients. And a couple other things, if you do not put in the work, you're not going to get the results, because neither my results or my agent's results are really typical, but anybody can replicate them if you simply follow these steps that you're going to be learning today. So does this sound like you? Do you have some months to where you actually make a lot of money, but you just can't seem to maintain it? Or even maybe every month you start out wondering where you're going to get your next client from. And do you know that you're worth more than you're currently making, but you really just can't seem to figure out how to increase those sales and your income? And do you see others in the industry making a ton of money and wondering what in the world they're even doing to even get all that business? And do you feel that you're working too hard in your business? You know, maybe working too many hours and you're doing too many activities, but you really feel like you're just kind of burning yourself out. And if you feel that online marketing is something you just know you need to get into, but you're really just not sure how to go about doing it, this is probably perfect for you, because a lot of times people feel like when they get a new listing, they get stressed out because they can't figure out how to guarantee a sale for their clients. They can promise them the world, but they just don't know how to deliver it. Or even if you feel like there's an invisible ceiling on the amount of money that you can make each month, but you just can't seem to crack it. Because I can tell you right now that your real problem isn't yourself. It's that you're just stuck in the old model and you just really haven't adjusted to what I call the new model, the one that's highly leveraged, profitable, and predictable. Because when you move to this new model, you're going to have complete control over who you work with, how you work with them, and the commission you can command, because I'm going to teach you in these 7 steps how to do every single one of these, and it's going to blow your mind of just how much fun you're actually going to be having when it comes to selling real estate. You're going to be able to generate clients on demand with predictability, month after month, with an exact idea of how much it costs to get a new client and what time period. So you know that you're going to be able to flip on a switch and just get clients coming to you at whatever pace you want them to, because your business is going to be much more simple and significantly more profitable with less moving parts and overhead. Because once you remove that glass ceiling on your income, all those problems are going to disappear, and you're going to push right through it without having to do more stuff or more busy work. And you'll finally have a proven system that you're going to be able to repeat that $100,000 year after year after year without all the guesswork. And the best part about it is you're going to be tapping back into that joy that got you into the business in the first place, while removing all that complexity and time draining energy. So who am I? Well, my name is Ronnie George, and as I've mentioned before, I'm a real estate broker, and I've been selling real estate for about 14 years now. I started selling real estate when I was 18 years old, living at home, and right now I currently own and operate my own real estate brokerage. I'm an independent broker, and I make a little over $250,000 a year. But the main thing is I specialize in helping my real estate agents build their systems, and I help other people create those same exact systems in their business and build teams so that way they can deliver predictability. So just to let you know, I'm not really one of those types that really just likes to sing my own praise, because I want you to meet Tara. Tara's actually one of our agents, and it's her first year in the business. She made a little bit over I'm thinking it was about $120,000 if I can remember correctly, because she had a little over $4 million in sales, almost $4.5 million in sales, or actually just right over $4.5 million now that I read that. Because she started off as a teacher. You know, I had went to school with her husband. He reached out to me and said, hey, my wife's tired of being a teacher. She loves what she does, but she's just not making the income that she knows that she's capable of. So we got her set up, got her licensed, and next thing you know, Tara is making a little over $11,000 a month. And our only problem she's having right now is just finding homes for her clients, because there's just limited inventory out there. So she went from $36,000 a year to now consistent $10,000 months. And the cool thing is, here's Heather. Heather actually started as a part-time small business owner, and her family grew up in the real estate industry. So she just naturally knew that she was going to kind of take that path herself. So she actually closed down her business because real estate was making her far more money just by following these systems that we've implemented. It kept her overhead costs extremely low, and she was able to shut that business down, and now she's making a little over $10,000 a month on average, and she's easily going to make over $150,000 this year and years to come, simply by using these methods that I'm going to be showing you today. And here's Tina, one of our top producers. She's made a little bit over 13 million in sales in just 1 year. She was at a big box brokerage rather, that all they really taught her was, the kind of watered down training, the cold calling, the door knocking, the events, the basic stuff. But she really knew that she was capable of more, but she just wanted more insight and more training. So she reached out to me, became a broker or an agent with me, and she took her average of $45,000 that she was making at that other big box brokerage, and we already brought her up to over $100,000 her first year, and she's bringing in now over $32,000 a month on average. She's absolutely crushing it. And then here's Dylan. He actually got his real estate license, his pre-licensing, in 1 weekend, took it, got licensed, and was a licensed real estate agent within 30 days. We were working on his action plan of what he needed to do to get going, because he had no sales experience. He didn't know where to get started or what to do. So we sat down, went over these 7 steps that I'm going to be talking about today, and he implemented those to a T, got got 2 contracts under contract within 30 days, and now he's just bringing in money left and right. He's just stacking it up in his savings account. He's actually a full-time firefighter and just does real estate for fun and only has to put in very little effort to consistently be bringing in this money. So, and that's just the start of it. I've been doing this for 14 years total, but I've been a broker for the past 2 years. So that's where the training and mentorship really has just taken off. I've helped 3 people get over $100,000 a year, and I've helped over 17 others in my immediate area go to that 5 and 6 figure level, and countless others with just training, education, and just free advice. But that was all before I decided to put all this into a 7-step process that, well, now I'm showing that to you today. So what is this new model? There are 7 steps that you have to have in your business if you want to play at this 6-figure level. Number 1, you've got to stop being a generalist, and instead you got to define your own mountain and you got to own it, which means you need to be a specialist. Because you see people like LeBron James, they don't play baseball one week and then go and play basketball the next. Basketball is LeBron's mountain. He defined it, he owned it, he defends it. There's a lot of agents out there that they'll be a for sale by owner person one week, they'll focus on new construction the next week, and then they'll focus on investors the week after. People lose respect for people like that because they see them flip-flopping back and forth all over the place, and they can't seem to make a decision. They just confuse them. They see them as very flaky. So they kind of just keep their distance, and they don't really go to them because, well, maybe one week they might even be a real estate agent, and the next week they might not be. Because what you need to do is you need to define your area of mastery. You got to climb to the top of that mountain and defend it like hell, because it's a lot easier than you think to be the best in the world at one thing, but it's extremely impossible to be the best in the world at multiple things. You need to double down on where your strengths are. You need to focus on that. So I really want you to sit back and think about that. What are the things that you absolutely love to do that you know that you can be best at? Whether it's new construction, a new development, investments, condos, first-time home buyers, relocations, vacation properties, whatever it is, I really want you to sit back and really think about the things that you absolutely love, and you really just want to focus on being the absolute best at it. Become an expert. Know everything there is to know about that one specific thing, because you're going to own that. And no, here's the other thing. Don't feel that just because you commit to one thing that you have to stick to it forever. You just need to get started off by picking one thing and moving forward, because a few years down the road, or even a few months, you might realize you don't really love that thing, but at least you started in focusing. That's the whole point of this. You got to start focusing your attention. Because, see, Tina, someone who actually implemented exactly what I taught them, became the #1 agent kicking off the new year. She had over 1.2 million in sales, and the leads that we were able to provide her helped her achieve this, as well as that focus and guidance. She took that, she implemented it, and she immediately got results. So number 2, you've really got to cut out those non-income producing offers and only focus on the offer that is actually your core service. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that if you're doing open houses or CMAs or property evaluations, or you're, doing different events for first-time home buyers, or volunteering at your church and providing all this, training and mentorship for free for your company, whatever it is, if you feel that you're kind of stretched thin and you're doing all these things and you're providing all these services, you're not really moving the needle. You really need to cut back all the things that are just wasting time. You see, even Steve Jobs did this when he went back to Apple. He had 30 days, or Apple had 30 days of cash left in the bank. Steve went and cut back 80% of that product line and returned back to Apple's core business. So if you find yourself getting off track, if you find yourself doing all these extra things, you really need to dial back on the stuff that actually moves the needle. I really want you to resonate on that. The things that move the needle. I want you to ask yourself, before you commit to something, is this actually going to get me results? Is this actually going to bring in business? What are the things that you're doing that you know that if you did consistently, that would bring you in business. Because I guarantee you, if you think about it, if you're an agent, you know the things that bring business. All those other things you just kind of do for fun or you try to improve, but you really only need one or two core things that you can just be the absolute best at and you can focus on. And I guarantee you that's going to allow you to achieve more by focusing on those two things instead of trying to do 10 or 15 different other things just to stay busy. This is where people get confused because they fill themselves and their time with so much busy work. So don't do that, because this is something that actually Dylan, this is a message from him when he had started. He said that he is glad that he decided to become an agent and start his career with me, and definitely was life-changing because he came in not knowing what to do. He came in extremely confused, overwhelmed, and just not knowing which direction he should go after. I told him, look, let's focus on these things. I helped him define exactly what I'm helping you define right now, these 7 steps. And he got the clarity he needed and achieved more than he thought that he was able to even do. So number 3, you've got to develop what's called a proof of concept, and then you got to turn that into a proven process. You see, once you've defined your mountain and you work with a couple of clients, you're going to find an underlying concept that's working that actually gets results. Because once you've developed your proof of concept, you can turn that into a proven process that's going to be able to recreate those same results time and time again. I don't want you to get stuck thinking that work is random and business is random, because it's not like that every time. There are things that are always there, that are always consistent, especially if you stick to a specific area, a specific niche, a specific target. If you stay there, you'll notice that certain things that you do always get the same results. And what's going to happen is, a proof of concept is you paying attention to things that you do that you're like, all right, I noticed that when I do this, I get this result. Write that down, pay attention to it. And if you consistently can keep doing those things and you can keep getting replicatable results, there's no need to change them or stop doing them. What you need to do is you need to keep refining them and improving them and testing them, because what's going to happen is you're going to turn that into what's called a proven process. This proven process is going to take you and your business to another level. It is life altering. You're going to be able to confidently sit down in front of a buyer or a seller and tell them, look, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to do it within this time, and I'm going to get this result, and then I'm going to be able to do this for you. The confidence that you're going to be able to exude onto that listing presentation, that buyer presentation, is just going to blow them out of the water, because there's so many agents out there that do not have this in place. And if you get one thing out of these 7 steps, do this. Make sure that you are aware of your proven process and your proven concept, because if you do, it's going to give you so much clarity and peace of mind, because you're going to know exactly what to do in your business, that you're going to be able to confidently say to someone, because if they work with you, you're going to be able to tell them, look, I'm going to do this for you, and I know that I'm going to be able to do it. And you're only going to know that you can do that if you've been paying attention to the things that you've been able to do time and time again. So make sure you got that proof of concept, because you see, Courtney joined us, and her main thing was she needed that help to be able to build her confidence, and we provided that with all those necessary tools and the training and the guidance that we were able to implement in that. And she joined us simply because of that reason, because no one else would give her the time of day to talk to her and to guide her and show her exactly what she needed to do. I just ran her through these 7 steps, broke it all down to her, and she just had absolute clarity of like, wow, this is going to be so much easier than I thought it was going to be. So number 4, after you get all those first 3 steps into place, you're going to be able to command premium prices, and you're going to be proud of it. Because once you command premium prices, that means that you know that you can get those results, and people will pay you highly for it, because in the real estate business, people are counting on you to get them results. And in fact, they would actually rather pay you more because they feel that you're worth it. Because if they are cheap on those prices, especially if it's something important to them, they're going to feel uneasy about it. It's not going to make any sense because, see, for instance, if you had a brain tumor, would you scroll through the internet looking for the cheapest brain surgeon, or would you want to work with the best? When things really matter, when it comes down to it, you're going to want to work with the best, the someone that's going to get you results. And you're never going to be able to convince those people that you can get them results unless you have that proven process in place. And you'll never know that proven process unless you've really focused in on the things that matter. So I hope you're understanding and seeing how focus is so extremely important in this. Because once you figure that out, no one will ever be able to compete with you. Now here's another thing. Vincent, he was an agent that was with another company that had him doing all kinds of things. He was just running all over the place, doing useless activities, and he couldn't really get anything done. But when he transferred over, or was interested in transferring over, he basically asked me a lot of questions that said, hey, what are you going to do for me? How is this going to work? And all these things. So I was following up with him with this message, and I said, hey, are you happy? Have I been able to deliver on at least half of all the things I've made and promised to you? And he was 100% satisfied. He loves the training. He loved the out-of-the-box thinking, all the leads that we were able to provide him. And he just couldn't be happier. So it was great to see that, he made a great choice and that I was able to deliver on my promises made. As you can see now, I've taken my proven process and I was able to confidently tell these people, listen, here's what I'm going to be able to do to you. And I follow up, or not do to him, but do for him. And I follow up with him to make sure that I deliver on those promises made. And every single time I'm just overwhelmed of just how happy they truly are. So number 5, this is where you magnify your voice. You use inbound marketing, but you gotta know your numbers. What I mean by that is most real estate agents just do random acts of marketing and hope marketing. You see, they get drips and drabs of business from open houses or events or referrals or even random emails from someone who might have saw their video on the internet that they just randomly posted. They have no way to get clients on demand, and they have no idea of how much it even costs to get them a client. Because honestly, I'm sorry if this is you, but you really do need a wake-up call, because you really don't have a business if you don't know how to spend money to actually acquire clients. Because what you need to know is this: you need to know exactly how much you need to spend to be able to generate clients, and how you can convert them, and how much money you can make. So I'm going to take this simple example. Let's just say we spent $100. We know that by the systems that we use, we're going to bring in on an average of $1.50 to $2 a piece out of every $100. So that means that for every $100 we spend, we're going to get about 50 leads off of that. And of those 50 leads, like most internet leads, we're only going to be able to convert about 2 to 3% of those. So if we look conservatively, we're going to look at about 10 leads that we're going to be able to actually convert. Now, I'm sure if you're a real estate agent, you know that just because you convert a lead does not mean that they're actually going to be able to work with you, because some of those fall off. But I guarantee you we will stay with them, and we will convert another 2 to 3% of those that actually converted with us. And if we stay conservative, if we spend $100, get 50 leads, convert about 2% of those into 10 leads, and of that 10 leads, using our proven process and our proven methods, we're going to convert another 2% of those 10, bringing us to 2 sales, which is on average, let's just say about $200,000. It's going to bring in about $6,000 per closing. So that's pretty good numbers, and that's as specific as you need to get it. You don't have to get super in depth and get way overwhelming, but you need to know at least if you spend $100, how much can you make off of that? Because that way you know how to scale your business. So if I were to spend $200 knowing this exact system, that'd mean that I'd be able to make about $24,000, so on and so forth. Then it's really just a matter of your comfort zone of how much you want to spend and how much you want to scale your business. So here's some proof of exactly what it looks like when we bring in leads. As you can see in the top left all the way to the top right, We get them to fill out information that tells us exactly what they're interested in, and they even answer some qualifying questions. We get them to answer, what best describes them, when would they like to be in their new home, and what price range best fits them. We give them 3 to 4 options, and the people have to select these before they submit their information. You see, what we do is we provide information about a particular home, but we don't give them all the information. We make them submit their information and then answer some questions about it. So all that heavy lifting is done for us because they basically say, hey, I am looking. Here's my timeline. Here's my price range. Now, the strength of this is because I don't have to follow up with every one of these aggressively. I can take time to reach out to the ones that say, hey, I'm looking 6 to 12 months, or hey, I'm looking next year. We can approach them casually and conversationally. But the ones that are actively looking now, we can be a little bit more aggressive because we want to make sure that we connect with them because they're likely very motivated into finding something. So hopefully that kind of makes sense to you. So in the bottom left and the bottom right, the bottom left, you're going to see my Facebook ad spend for my personal account. And I've been spending money on Facebook since 2015. And honestly, the only regret I have right now is that I did not spend more because I was just scared. I was just scared of spending more because I didn't know exactly how to keep putting money into it, and I didn't know my numbers like I just showed you on the previous slide. I didn't know that until just within the past 2 years of when I really started dialing things in with the brokerage. Before, I was just randomly spending. If you look at the spikes, how they go up and down and up and down, I was just spending like crazy. Turning it on, turning it off because I didn't know what to do. It was a lot of trial and error. In the bottom right, you're actually going to see some results. We had swapped over CRMs, and now we're using what's called Follow Up Boss. And you're going to see some open rates. We have 20%, 30%, 34%, 24%. There's all kind of open rates that are actually doing really well because our leads are very receptive. And that's just on our initial contact leads. We have hundreds of follow-up texts and emails that we actually implement, as well as phone calls. We make sure to get in touch with those people because we want to process them. And we want to make sure that we're working with motivated buyers. So here's the other thing. Once we get in touch with them, we have to move that conversation offline and on the phone, because I don't care how great your sales copy is or what countdown timers you use or even what other software you use, your conversion is going to be terrible if you're relying only on the internet. Because the way that you do this is you have to attract people with paid advertising and exchange a solution for their information. In the case of what I showed you earlier, we provided them with the location as well as the price for a particular property that was targeted to those people that were motivated buyers. They submitted their information in exchange for that. We gave them the information, and now we got possible clients simply by leveraging what you already have access to, which is the MLS. So what we'll do next is then we'll reach out and we'll further help solve those problems and target those people that need help because they're looking 6 to 12 months down the road, or we'll help more specifically with those that are looking 1 to 3 months. We'll approach them completely different because traditional conversions are those 2 and 3% for every 100, but by our consistent follow-up, we're able to take those numbers up to 20 to 25% for every 100. Because about 80% of the leads that sign up are not ready right now. They're ready in the next 3, 6, 9, or even 12 months down the road. So much money is left on the table just because people do not consistently follow up. So just know that once you start implementing targeted marketing and inbound marketing, you cannot just go for that low-hanging fruit. You have to stay following up with those people, and you have to keep offering value, because when you do, I guarantee you they're going to convert, and I guarantee you you're going to have a pipeline so full that you're not going to know what to do with yourself because you're going to have so much business. Because people like Tina take advantage of that because, as she says, I'm still amazed with all the leads that I get, our out-of-box thinking and all the direction that we actually give her to help her achieve everything that she's been able to achieve. It's just, it means a lot to see that these agents get so excited and that they're happy that they work with me and that they work where they do work, and we're able to constantly keep delivering the things that actually work. I mean, it really is overwhelming to just be able to take a proven process that I actually built in my own business, share that with other agents, and they follow the system and get the same results. It's amazing. And that brings me to number 7. You have to invest in mentorship and actually learn from somebody that's done it and actually doing it. And the reason I say that is because, listen, I've spent a ton of money, probably more than I even want to recount, but I've learned a lot of things along the way. I've spent over $55,000 in training, wasted almost $250,000 on just dumb ideas, spent so much time cold calling people and burned through employees and had offices that I didn't need and read tons of books and just wasted so many years of my life trying to figure this stuff out. I'm thankful for it now because I understand this stuff inside and out. But I do know that if I had to do it again, if I found somebody and I wasn't scared, I would have just reached out to them first, paid them for their knowledge, and had them help me do this. And I would have been exactly where I am today so much sooner. Because here's a perfect analogy. If you wanted to go to the Cayman Islands, would you rather charter a plane or get behind the controls yourself with no training, no map, and no co-pilot to guide you? It would make no sense. Why would you just not hire somebody, spend the time, and actually enjoy the trip instead of trying to figure it all out yourself, risking everything just to save a little bit of money? Because I want to show you this. This is where I actually decided to invest in my knowledge and education. I reached out to Grant Cardone. I spent about $20,000, went to one of his premier boot camps, had one-on-one coaching with Grant to where I got a lot of insight on exactly what I should be doing with my business and what I was doing wrong with my business. Gary Vaynerchuk has always been a huge inspiration, and he helped me dial in a few things on exactly what I should be doing. And his main thing that all he had to say was just, you can't do too many things at once. You have to focus. But of course, you know how Gary Vee is. He said it in a more affluential type inspirational way than what I just said it. And there's Grant down there with my son going a little 10x during our one-on-one coaching session. Because I tell you that to tell you this. I want you to know that there is an easier way out there, and it is that shortcut that I mentioned. It's with mentorship, and it's honestly with someone who has a proven system and's actually done it. What you're seeing is proven results. Like, these are just a small little glimpse. I'm able to generate seller leads, not only for my agent's business, but for other agents' businesses. By putting the right ads in front of them, we can get them to fill out information, give us their name, email, phone number, and all kinds of information about their home, as well as people right there at the top who just love the information that we put out. And the reason they do that is because we have our targeting so dialed in, and we speak to them in the way that they want to hear it. As you see, I told my husband that you will be our agent when we get ready to sell our home and buy a new one. I've never seen an agent around here who takes so much pride in what they do and is truly looking out for the best interests of their clients. People, that does not happen by accident. That is from years and years of trial and error. And if you want results like that, I guarantee you I can get them for you. But here's the thing. You have two options right now. One, you can keep going at it alone, trying to spend thousands of dollars and doing it on your own, getting frustrated and wasting years of your life. Or you can just learn a proven system by somebody who has actually not only done it, but mastered it and uses it in their business every single day. And if you go with option 2 and you decide to work with me, here's some of the results that you're actually going to get. Here's a rough timeline of what you'll actually be able to get in the first month. Because in the first week, we'll get your targeted market defined, meaning that we'll know exactly who it is that we need to focus on, how we need to speak to them, and we'll have your services dialed in and ready to go. Because by week 2, we're going to have that lead generation set up and leads will be flowing. And by week 3, you'll be generating leads so much that we'll be able to stop and dial in your follow-up system so we can start increasing your rates, your conversion rates. Because here's what's going to happen. you're going to have so many leads coming in that you're going to be overwhelming. You're going to want to turn it off. I know that that's what I wanted to do once I started everything up, and I don't want that to happen to you. That's why I'm going to be here to guide you so that we know once we turn it on, you're not going to turn it off, and you're going to be so happily overwhelmed with so much business, but you're going to know exactly how to follow up with them, how to process them, what to do with them, and all that. So you're going to have nice full pipelines and a ton of leads that are going to be flowing into you. And by the 4th week, we're going to have your communication razor sharp. Your follow-up is going to be so on point that your groundwork is going to be laid down for the automation that we're going to be implementing in your business the month after. And again, that's just the first month. So if this sounds like something you want in your business and you want to skyrocket your income to over $100,000 a year consistently, then all we have to do is talk. All we have to do is spend about 30 minutes, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to map out an action plan for you to follow that you can actually make over $100,000 this year. Because I want you to know that if you're a real estate agent or a team owner, or even someone who's wanting to build a team and you're currently in the business, I think that this is for you, because even if you're somebody who wants to get in the business because you feel that you're good at it and you feel that you can actually dominate the sales industry and make those high 6 figures, I think this is for you too. Because here's the other thing. If you're somebody who wants to get into selling real estate and start off with a proven process to bring in clients, this is for you as well. But more importantly, people who love helping others and value results above everything else. All I need you to do is you can either go to this site right here, or you can click the button below. If you click the button below, it's going to give you the option to go to a link to where you can submit an application to see if we're a good fit. It's going to ask you a few questions about where you are in your business right now, some challenges you're facing, and some things that you feel separate you from everything else. So all I need you to do is, if you want to take your business to the next level and you want to implement a proven process in your business and make over $100,000 a year consistently, not only that, you're going to save so much time by doing so. All you have to do is set this up. We're going to jump on a phone call, talk about it, see where you're at in your business, see what things I can do to help you out, and even map out your very own action plan to be making $100,000 a year. I guarantee you, if you do this, not only are you going to immediately trim the fat, you're going to have so much clarity by the time you get off the phone that you're just going to be thankful that you even took the phone call. Even if we decide that we're not a good fit and we shouldn't really work together, or whatever thing happens, I just want you to know that I'm going to at least help you get a little bit of clarity in where you are in your business and where you need to go and what steps you need to take. So go ahead and click the button below, get set up with your very own coaching call, or whatever you'd like to call it, discovery call. Just click that link below. Go ahead and see if we're a good fit. And I appreciate you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you have a good rest of the day.